For one man in our area, there's never been a rock he doesn't like. And we're here today north of Montpelier or west of Pioneer here in Northwest Ohio with David Bilton. And David, you have a lot of large rocks around here. Yes. What made you start to do something like this?
Well, it started back when I was just a little guy. We're traveling, went on vacation with Mom and Dad, and didn't have any money, so I just pick a stone up and take it home for a souvenir when we were on vacation.
I don't know what kid doesn't do that. We always pick up a stone and take it with us. You seem to have collected a few.
Yeah, and the stone just kept getting bigger and bigger. My wife tells all our friends and relatives that I'm certifiable.
Well, you've got some wonderful stones here. We want to talk about that. How did you start this big collection and this big display that you put together?
Well, it started out, my son, visited my son in Upper Peninsula, Michigan, in Isle Royale, Lake Superior. I went by this gravel pit that had 12 big white stones lined up along a road they wanted to dispose of or get rid of, sell. I went by them for 7 years. Finally, I stopped, made a deal with a guy, and we hauled them down here. After about 10 years, we hauled them down here from Manistee, Michigan, 400 miles from the Upper Peninsula to here. But it took me several years to find a home for them. That's why it took so long. So they were the first, and then I started building stone fence, and I hauled stones from all over the tri-state area. Of course, I got stones from other states out west, but the bulk of them are from tri-state area, Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. The last 5 or 6 years, I concentrated on the Amish farms around Camden, Michigan. They were wanting to get rid of stones. They'd jump out in the road in front of me, get me to stop, wanted to ask me if you want some more stones.
Well, there's a few stones in the field some of the farmers have found through the years, haven't they?
Yes, yeah, and there's a few people that like to sell their stones, but there was so many wanting to get rid of them, and I finally had to make a list. It took me 2.5 or 3 years to get to the bottom of the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I like about you've put a fence up along here. You don't use any mortar on your fence.
No, it's what they call a dry stack stone fence. I belong to Historical Society, Dry Stone Conservancy. What they do is go around the country and restore stone projects. Could be part of a church, a cement, stone culvert, a stone bridge, a dry stack stone fence on a Kentucky horse farm. I've been all around down there. Help restoring, and I've been to Quaker Shaker Village in south of Lexington. It's got 20 miles of stone fence laid with, they say, maybe slave labor, but I've been down there and helped them repair that. That was all a learning curve.
Okay, so you join this organization and you go to different historical sites, and when they have these fences that have fallen down some, you help to restore them and put them back up.
Yep. That's what I've been doing now for about, somewhere around 10 years. I haven't been doing it the last couple of years because I've been so busy with my own project there. I'd like to get the Dry Stone Conservancy to come up and see me because I've got about 2,000 ton dumped out there every few feet all the way around the 15 acres, and they could really be a big help for me.
Well, how much weight of stones are there in the fence there?
Well, approximately 1.5 tons every foot. I built a couple of years ago 800 feet, 6 foot wide, about waist high on me, and it figures out about 1.5 tons every foot. So I used about 1,200 ton in that 800 feet from July 4th to Thanksgiving week.
How long does it take you to build a fence like that?
Well, I like to do about 10 foot a day. Don't sound like a lot, but, well, it's 20 ton maybe.
I was just going to say 15, 20 ton of stone you're moving around there. You got to be pretty strong.
Well, it's not. The small ones, they're all hand stacked, but I use my machine, the Bobcat, to move the big ones in. preferably the big ones on the outside, and hand stack all the small ones in the middle. So
What's the secret to a stone fence? Do you start with the big ones on the bottom and build the smaller ones on the top?
big ones on the bottom or the sides to hold the small ones within the size of it.
Okay, you mostly look for flat stones if you can?
Well, there's very few flat stones here. It's a lot easier to build a stone fence in Kentucky, Tennessee, because it's flat, sandstone, shale. These are field stone, all oblong, round, flat, little everything. Slate, granite, limestone. I'm not much of a geologist when it comes to stones, but I know a few of them, but not a lot of it.
Well, I look around this stone garden that you've made, and I see a lot of different kinds of stones. So how do you find all these different kinds?
Well, a lot of them are just dug up out of the ground. The farmers want to get rid of them. They're piled up out along the outside of the fields, and they say, "Oh, come and get these, Dave." So I come and get them. I've been over to a couple of farms that took 150 trailer loads off of one farm. One farm took almost 200 trailer loads off of one farm. I was there in between crops in winter, 2.5, 3 years on one farm. There was a 6 foot high, 12 foot wide, and 150 foot long. They wanted to get the lady was nice enough to say, "Yeah, come and get them, Dave."
Well, how do you move them here?
Well, I had a Hummer truck and a dump trailer. I hauled stones for about 10 years, and they're very, very big ones. I had like Mr. Hinkle down the road here haul them on a semi trailer, and Dennis Hutchinson stand the big ones up. They weigh up to 50,000 pounds. I had Dennis Hutchinson picking up the 50,000 pounder with 2 wreckers and standing it up for me.
So you get Denny to bring his wreckers over and pull them out for you, huh?
Yeah. Have him stand up, take them off the trailers, and have him stand them up for me. He's really good at that stuff.
Are there any historical stones here?
Well, yes. Like over there at the front entrance, there's 2 cornerstones of the old Williams County Grandstand in Montpelier that burned. I don't recall how long ago it was, 30 or 40 years ago. They got buried, and when they decided to build a new veterans building and down there at the fairgrounds, they got dug up, and the fellow in charge of that project asked me if I had a place for them, and I said, "Yeah, I got a real nice place for them." They're standing right there at the front entrance.
How'd you get those here?
Dennis Hutchinson brought them down here for me from the fairgrounds and stood them there for me.
Now, is everything here stone?
Everything's here is stone except for those 2 cornerstones of the Williams County Grandstand. All the rest of them are some sort of field stone, granite, limestone, shale. There's a real pretty black, I can't think of the name of it, maybe it's basalt. It looks like coal, but got everything here, just about everything.
Well, now I look on top of the grandstand stone and I see an eagle. Now that doesn't look like a stone.
No, that's a casting. I got a casting of an eagle on top there, and then on the other cornerstone is a weather-worn piece of granite supposed to simulate a very large eagle's egg.
Okay, so you got an eagle and an eagle's egg here to open up when folks come to see your garden.
Yeah, right. That's the first thing they see is the eagle's egg and the eagle stand there in the Williams County Grandstand markers.
Is that because you're patriotic and you want to show off the symbol of our country?
Yes, I'm probably one of the most patriotic persons that you ever meet.
One of the features that Dave has in his stone garden here is a circle with stones in it. Now tell me about the circle, Dave.
Okay, I used to work for surveyors, and I got some pretty good surveying equipment. It's all laid out perfectly northeast, south, and west, every 15 degrees, every 30 degrees. I got two spots left open for the solstices, the winter solstice, summer solstice. If you're here June 21, summer solstice, you'll see the sun rising over one of the stones. If you're here December 21st, you'll see the sun setting on one of the stones.
Which one is due south?
Straight right there in front of us. Right
This white one here.
Perfectly south.
Okay.
Yeah, and my bobcat's in the way of the one that's perfectly north of the stone
right behind
circle.
the bobcat.
Right behind the bobcat.
Which one is west and east then?
And that one's straight west right there.
Okay.
That one there is the one that the sun will be setting on December 21.
All right.
And I'm in the process of standing up the one that
Yeah,
solstice that it fell down on me.
Okay. I see that.
I'm in the process of standing that one back up.
All right. So every once in a while the stones move around a little bit. You got to work with them.
Yeah, they're freezing thaw and they'll fall off. It's a little touchy. Now there's 12 white stones here came from Annistique, Michigan, 400 miles from here, and we brought them down in February. Waited until the ground was froze so we could get our equipment in there and get them unloaded. And there again, Dennis, I'm giving Dennis Hutchins a good plug here. He was out here taking them off the trailer for us and putting them where I wanted them.
Do you have groups that come out here and be a part of this? Do you invite folks to just stop by?
I've let it be known to the public is welcome, but I have had church groups, garden clubs, senior centers, some outdoor weddings, people bringing their kids out here to take senior pictures. Somebody here coming and going all the time. Yep.
So this is open to somebody driving by and pulling in and just stopping in.
Yep. I've let it known to pretty much the general public is welcome as long as they're don't litter or not naughty. I'd like for them not to have their kids climb over the rocks. That makes me nervous. But
now I look around and you've placed different stones. Some are on top of others. I see one. You got a round one over here. I see a long one across a couple, kind of look like a picnic table or that. People bring lunches out here and have lunches and that?
Yep. I got a table rock over there, I call it. That's where I eat lunch, take my coffee breaks, and I've had people come out here and picnic and they sit there on my table rocks and eat their lunch.
What made you start all this?
Well, I keep telling people, I'm not sure, but I've been telling them I had a premonition to do this, and I'm still doing it. It's an ongoing thing. I'll probably be building stone fence when they take me away.
So the premonition was what?
I just can't remember. It was a long time ago, but I want to do something with these stones you keep collecting.
Well, what are most people's reactions when they see this?
Why are you doing it? Have you got stones for sale, or what causes you to do this? And I just keep telling them I'm a stone nut.
Now, how big an area are you covering? This first part looks like what, 5 acres or so?
Yeah, the front part is probably 2.5 or 3 acres, but there's stone piled up completely around a 15-acre field. I intend to build a stone fence all the way around this 15 acres.
All the way around 15 acres?
Yes.
That's a lot of stone.
Yep. Did I tell you about the building year before last, 800 feet?
No.
Well, I built 800 feet, and from July 4th week until Thanksgiving week, I used about 1,200 ton. It figures out a ton and a half every foot. I built 800 feet. A year before last summer, I was involved in moving up towards Hillsdale and didn't get much done. Now I'm just doing, I call it the cleanup work, repair work, fix it. About ready to get started on building stone fence again.
Do you ever get any help with all this?
No, this is a one-man project, but I'll take that back. The first year I was started here, I had a really, really good helper, a good friend of mine helped me. He come down with the cancer, and he's passed on now. So it's been about 8 or 9 years. It's been a one-man team here. Whatever I can do, I do it.
This isn't a cemetery by any chance, is it?
Well, it's kind of misleading when you first go by it. You wonder what it is. Yeah, yeah,
You do.
yeah.
So you don't have anybody buried out here, though.
No, I've got friends have their pets here.
Okay.
A niece has got two of her dogs buried near one of the stones, and a lady at Lake Seneca got some of her cats here.
Okay. Well, this isn't actually where you first started, though. You kind of started at your Lake Seneca house first, didn't you?
Yeah, where we lived for 43 years at Lake Seneca, we had quite a few stones piled up along the driveway, and then I had a pet rock that weighed 43,000 on the left side of my driveway.
43,000 pet rock.
Yeah, my pet rock. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's probably still there too.
As far as I know, it is. I hope it stays there.
I doubt that anybody's going to move it.
I think they're having garage sales today. I might drive over there this afternoon and see if it is still there.
Well, let's talk about a couple of the big rocks. You've got a big white rock back behind here. Let's go look at that. David, this is a pretty big white rock. Is this one of the white rocks you were telling us about?
Yeah, this is one of them that came 400 miles from here, 100 miles west of the Mackinac Bridge, Manistee, Michigan. I've named him Luther. He weighs 27,500 pounds. He's in charge of keeping the evil spirits out of the stone circle. And he's been
Why did you name him Luther?
Well, I don't know why I named him. Lucifer's the devil, but I called him Luther to keep the evil spirits out of the stone circle. And he's been doing a good job. So anybody wants to visit the place and stand in the stone circle, they'll be okay.
They'll be all right.
Luther's doing his job.
Are you a spiritual man?
Well, somewhat, yeah. Somewhat, yeah.
Somewhat?
Yeah, I'm a believer. Yeah, I believe, yep.
What do you believe?
I believe that, I believe in the higher up. I believe one of the things I do believe in is nobody's promised tomorrow.
Are there some unusual stones in your stone fence?
Yeah, there's some real unique stones, one of a kind I'm going to call them. Of course, all of them are one of a kind. There's none of them alike, but there is a pudding stone down here that's quite unique, relatively scarce, probably weigh about 1,000 pounds.
Now, what's a pudding stone?
Oh, it's like a green background with a white, smaller stones within it, or a white background with black stones within it. Kind of like porridge. If you look at a bowl of porridge, you see the mince meats, raisins, nuts in it.
Conglomerate kind of stone.
Yes, I would call it maybe a conglomerate, yes.
Okay. And where'd you get that from?
That came from a farm up by Camden, Michigan, on an Amish farm.
Okay.
And by the way, I want to thank all these Amish people for their giving me all these stones. They were glad to get rid of them. They don't grow very good corn or wheat, so yeah, they were till they found out about me. They were paying people to bury them.
And it's hard to plow through them too.
Yeah, they're hard on equipment.
Yeah.
Really hard on equipment. Yep.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people who are glad to get rid of them.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
David, this looks like an unusual stone that you have here. Tell me about it.
Well, it's to me, it's quite unique. I just don't know what kind of stone it is. It just reminded me of some Indian relic or something somebody else made way back. And I thought, well, I build a mound here and put that on the end of it. That green tree spent 25 years of its first life in a bonsai pot. I finally give it its freedom and brought it out here, and it's really growing.
It looks like it's doing very well.
Yeah, late this fall now, it'll turn school bus yellow. It stands out. It really stands out. I got two of them out here.
Well, this stone that you're talking about kind of looks like an arrowhead. It does have a sharp point to it. Where'd you find this one?
This one came from southern part of Hillsdale County. I can't remember for sure where that one did come from, but biggest part of them came from southern Michigan.
I've been impressed when I talk to you. You know about where every stone came from, pretty much, though.
Yeah, I pretty much remember where most of them did come from. Yeah.
Yeah, when I look around here, I see a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles. It looks like not only have you found we expect granite and those kind of things here, but you found composite stones and you find a whole lot of different styles, and you've mixed them around. You've got an eye on how to balance all the different colors.
Yeah, it's been quite a job here. I've been working at this, I think, about 10 years now, and like I said, it's been an ongoing thing. I'm planning on start building stone fence again next month. Hopefully I can get some more of that done before cold weather gets here again.
So as people come by and they take a look at this, what do you hope they think about this?
Well, their first thought is they pull in and want to know if I'll sell them some stone. Are you selling stones? And I said, no, I'm not selling stones. And you're welcome to come in and look around. So I have a lot of visitors. Almost year-round people are here. Yep.
How do they find out about it? Because this is not right on the main drag.
Well, I don't know. I've had visitors from far away, all over, far away as Utah, Texas, Alaska. I think the word got out, and then maybe it got on YouTube or something, because I've had people come out here and said, well, I heard about this. Is this Stonehenge? I said, no, this is not Stonehenge. This is the stone collection.
What's going to happen to this for years to go?
Well, I don't know. I've got a mixed emotions. I haven't decided. I've thought about wondering if maybe we couldn't give it to the county, the state. I'm not sure what to do with it yet. See if the county or the state would be interested in maintaining it after I'm gone. I just don't know yet. There's millions of pounds of stones out here.
Maybe make a park out of it.
Yeah, make a park out there. Maybe extend it, something like Las Juan out there where they go fishing. Well, they come out here and look at stones too.
Well, your family's got some experience with the Park Service too, don't they?
Yeah, I've got my oldest son's a national park employee, and that's what when I was visiting him in northern Michigan, national park up there is where I got the idea to bring them 12 big white stones down from Manistee, Michigan. Yep.
Well, maybe he can put a good word in for you.
Maybe. I hope he does. Yeah.
Do you think any of the stones look like anything in particular?
Well, you have to use your imagination. I started seeing pictures on some of these stones years ago, and then there's a few people told me, I think you're right. That's looks like so-and-so or this or that kind of an animal. There's a stone over there that I think I used to collect old copper coins, colonial coins, like before we had our U.S. Mint, we had the states like Massachusetts, Connecticut stamped their own coins, large copper coins. There's a copper coin that has a crude-looking tree on it, and I got a stone over there along the road there. It looks like a crude tree, and it reminds me of one of them copper coins.
We had to stop at the biggest stone that you have. Tell me about this stone, Dave.
Well, this is one I got called Louis. It come off an Amish farm owned by Louis Delagrange on 1 mile south of Camden, and he weighs 50,000 pounds. And
50,000 pounds.
Yeah, 50,000 pounds. We weighed him down the street here at Larry Henkel's stone farm, and yeah, it was. This is where we had Dennis Hutchinson with his record come out here and take it off the truck and had both his records out here. Take it off and stand it up here where I wanted it.
I was going to say it had to be quite a feat to get that all moved in and set up there.
Yes, it was. It was quite an operation. He had both these records out here and cables and stuff and to stand it up on.
How far away was this from you?
12 or 13 miles we hauled this stone, up near 1 mile from Camden, Michigan.
When Louis contacted you about getting the stone, what was your first thought?
Well, nobody knew how big it was. It was just a little piece sticking up above the ground, enough to trip the plows. And
You mean it's kind of like one of those icebergs? You only saw a little piece of it. You didn't know it was this whole thing?
right, we didn't have any idea it was this big. It was just a little piece of it sticking up above the ground, and we started digging and digging and digging. And oh my word, I thought. Then we got some bigger equipment to do the digging, and finally I found a guy that specializes in hauling heavy stuff, and he hauled it over here for me. Yep.
Has there ever been a stone you said, that's too big, I can't take it?
Well, there's one over on the corner of 120 and 49 that's bigger than this one yet, but I don't know what's going to take to get it out of there. I'd like to have it,
But you'd like to do it.
I'd like to do it. I'd love to do it, but I don't know. It might have to stay there.
Okay.
Major undertaking, yeah.
Well, this has got to be kind of expensive too, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's real expensive for this heavy equipment and the trucking both. Yeah, the wreckers, the hydro hose and stuff that takes to dig these things out. Yeah, it's expensive. Yep.
So you take care of all that yourself. You don't have a foundation or donations or anything like that.
No, just out of my pocket, my little old retirement Social Security check, and whatever it is I get from General Motors retirement. It's been footing the bill for all this.
Louis, this big stone is actually part of a small circle that you've made then.
Yes, a smaller stone circle. There's only Louis is within the confines of a 5-stone circle here, 1 in the middle and 5 outside of it.
So you made a couple of circles here, and you've put stones together. Some stones you put on top of other ones, and you just kind of contrast and make things look a little unique, don't you?
Yeah, just a little different all around. They're all different. Some on top of one another, some of them side by side. Some of them will probably get moved to another location. It's just kind of an ongoing thing. I don't know if I'll ever finish.
Well, do people bring you stones?
A couple of people brought me stones. One of them was, I really appreciated it. It was a stone with a prehistoric stone. It had a leaf in the stone. Yep, and a leaf embedded in it, yep.
So you got a fossilized stone, and where is that one?
It's around here. I can't remember. It'd take me a while to find it, but it's got a fossilized stone with a leaf from Alaska.
Dave, I just thought of one last question that I hadn't asked you before. What's your wife think of you doing this?
Well, she thinks it's quite an ordeal. She tells all her friends and relatives I'm certifiable.
Has she helped you with any of this project?
No, she hasn't. She hasn't helped me any, but she's been down there, spent quite a bit of time before we moved up by Hillsdale, and watch and look and see what I was doing. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dave, this is really an interesting project, and we hope a lot of other people come to enjoy it and stop out and see you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. For Dave Biltner, it's like the old song, gonna build a mountain, gonna build it high. For him, it's one stone at a time. For All Around Northwest Ohio, I'm Bill Priest.